Hello everyone, and welcome to day number 68 of your daily Chofetz Chaim. Today we continue with the 8th chapter of the laws of Lashon Hara. The Chofetz Chaim writes in halacha number 5, the prohibition of saying and accepting Lashon Hara is true of anyone of the Jewish people, except for those who are not included in Amisecha. Amisecha means those of your nation, which our sages say refers to those who are not acting like they are still in our nation, referring to an apikaris, a heretic. And for those people, there is in fact a mitzvah to belittle them and to degrade them, whether it's in front of them or not in front of them. Even anything that you see that is negative about them, it should be shared, or anything that you even hear about them that is negative, you should share this information, as the pasuk says, "Laisanu ish es amisai," a person should not pain someone else in your nation, and you should not gossip about someone in your nation. But these people, our sages tell us, are not included in our nation because they are acting against our nation and doing those things which are not allowed. And about these people, the Torah says, Hashem esna those Hashem who hate you, I will hate them, and those who rise up against you, I will battle them. And who is an apikaris, who is going to fit into the category of those who hate Hashem and those who rise up against Hashem, those who deny the validity and the divinity of the Torah, or of any of the prophecies of the Jewish people, whether it's the written Torah or the oral Torah, it doesn't matter. And even if he says that all of Torah is true except for one verse, or even one drasha or an inference that we make that's included in the oral tradition, if someone denies the validity of even one of those, that will also be putting him into the category of being an apikoros and out of our nation. In halacha number 6, the Chofetz Chaim says, this is specifically if you yourself witnessed or heard this apikursis, this heresy coming from this individual. However, if you heard it from someone else, then you're not allowed to rely on that, you're not allowed to believe it, and you are not allowed to treat it any differently than any other Lashon Hara. However, you are allowed to be concerned that it might be true, as with other Lashon Hara, and over here also you're allowed to actually share that information. You can tell others to be careful around this individual because he might have done or said something that puts him into this category of being an apikares until you're able to investigate the matter and find out if it is in fact true. And in halacha number 7, the Chofetz Chaim continues and writes that you should know that if someone is well known in the city to be a wicked person, because he is constantly violating prohibitions that everybody knows are wrong, and then there is a mitzvah, in fact, to say Lashon Hara about them, and you're allowed to spread negative information. And this, the Chofetz Chaim says, is only if you fulfill the criteria that we mentioned a while ago, and I'll just mention them briefly here. They are, first of all, that your intention has to be for the right purpose, that A, you're going to warn other people that they should not be influenced by him, and B, that he himself might actually mend his ways, and also you cannot exaggerate in any way. And also, you should not try to hide it and talk about it privately, but you should be public about it so as not to show that you're hiding, unless by doing it publicly you could start a greater fight, a machlekes, or you are afraid of this individual. In those cases, you would be allowed to do it privately, but otherwise it needs to be done in public. And this is about someone who is doing just a regular sin and not the apikaris that we mentioned earlier. Now, who is considered to be this sinner that you're allowed to say Lashon Hara about? This is someone who everybody knows, there is no doubt, someone who's regularly violating a particular sin that everybody knows is wrong. However, if you simply heard a rumor about this person, that would not be included, you would not be allowed to believe it, and it would be treated like any other Lashon Hara. And as an editorial, this includes even something that you read in an article or on the internet that does not count, that would also be considered just a rumor. And the Chofetz Chaim ends off with a brief parenthesis here and says that even though I was afraid to write this because there will be the Lashon Hara people who are going to rely on this, and anytime they see anything wrong, they'll say immediately, oh, this person is a known wicked person and we can say Lashon Hara about him, which is obviously not the case. Nevertheless, the Chofetz Chaim says, I decided to insert it anyway because it is the truth. As the Gemara says in Bava Basra, but Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he did the same thing, and he said the following verse applies, Ki yesharim darchei Hashem, v'tzadikim yelchu bam, u'paishim yikashlu bam. The ways of Hashem are just, the righteous will follow in them, and the wicked will stumble through them.